When the last light in the toy store flickered off, the laughter didn't stop, it got louder. "Let's start." That was the first thing Emma noticed the night she agreed to stay late at Playtime Toys, the old toy store on Maple Street. The place had been there for almost 50 years, but business was dying. Management wanted to modernize, bring in new shelves, clean up the dusty corners, and make it look more family-friendly. Emma, a part-time cashier, volunteered to stay after hours to help reorganize. It seemed simple enough, until she realized she wasn't alone. The toy store was huge, 2 floors, shelves lined with dolls, action figures, puzzles, and stuffed animals of every kind. The air always smelled faintly of dust and plastic. That night, the air was heavier, almost damp, like the walls were breathing. It was close to midnight when she turned off the music, rolled down the metal shutters, and began stacking the shelves in the back corner where the lights flickered the most. The classic toys section, old teddy bears, wind-up clowns, wooden horses, and porcelain dolls that no one had touched in years. She laughed softly as she picked up a music box covered in dust. When she wound it, it began to play a haunting lullaby. The tune was slow, delicate, and oddly familiar, but halfway through, the music stopped click, like the spring inside had snapped. Then, from somewhere behind her, she heard it continue on its own. Emma froze. The faint melody echoed again, but this time, it wasn't coming from the music box in her hand. It was coming from another aisle. She forced herself to speak, her voice trembling. "Hello, is someone here?" No response, only the sound of the soft lullaby fading note by note into the stillness. She tried to shake it off. Maybe an old toy's timer had triggered somehow. She went back to organizing, stacking boxes of dolls when one of them, a porcelain doll with cracked cheeks and blue glass eyes, fell off the shelf. It didn't just fall, it launched forward, landing face up on the floor. Emma sighed and picked it up, brushing off the dust. "You scared me," she muttered. The doll's eyes, she could have sworn, blinked. A chill crawled up her spine. She placed it back on the shelf quickly and turned away. But as she did, she heard the faintest whisper, like a child giggling behind her. She spun around, nothing. The aisle was empty. She decided to call it a night. But when she reached for her phone, the screen flickered and died battery full just seconds ago. She frowned. Then the store lights began to dim one by one, until only the emergency light near the door remained. Then she heard footsteps. Tiny, quick, pattering steps, like bare feet scurrying across the tile floor. Her breath caught. "Who's there?" she called again, but the sound of the steps only grew faster, circling her. She looked down one aisle, nothing. Another empty. Then something small brushed against her ankle. She jumped back. A toy ball rolled out from under a shelf, stopping at her feet. It was red, with faded letters that once spelled playtime. It moved again, backwards, rolling against gravity. Emma's voice shook. "Stop it. This isn't funny." From behind the counter came a soft giggle. She turned slowly, and standing there was a little boy, no older than 6. Pale skin, old-fashioned clothes, suspenders, and a dirty white shirt. His hair hung over his eyes. Emma's throat tightened. "Hey, are you lost? How did you get in here?" The boy didn't answer. He tilted his head, then whispered, "Do you want to play?" Before she could respond, every toy in the store came to life. Mechanical monkeys clapped their cymbals, dolls started laughing, and the toy trains began circling the aisles. The noise was deafening. Lights flickered wildly. Emma screamed and ran toward the door, but it wouldn't budge, the lock jammed. She looked back. The boy was gone. In his place stood rows of dolls, hundreds of them, all turned toward her. Their glass eyes gleamed in the emergency light. One doll's mouth opened. "Stay and play forever." The others began chanting in soft, childlike voices, "Play with us, play with us." Emma stumbled backward, knocking over a display. Her hands trembled as she searched for another way out, but every door, every window was sealed shut. The chant grew louder. The air turned icy. Then she noticed something. One door at the very back, slightly open. It led to the storage basement, a place no one liked going. She ran toward it, slamming the door behind her. The darkness swallowed her whole. She pulled out her phone again, dead still. Using her lighter, she illuminated the damp basement filled with broken toys and mannequins missing limbs. The walls were covered in old children's drawings, smiling stick figures playing in front of the toy store. But one drawing caught her eye. It showed a little boy standing alone. His face was scribbled out. Underneath it, written in shaky letters, "He never left." Then, from the far corner, she heard soft crying. Emma's voice trembled. "Hello?" She approached slowly, the lighter's flame flickering. The crying grew louder, sadder, until she reached an old rocking horse that moved on its own. Behind it sat the same little boy, hugging a small teddy bear. "I was waiting for someone to play with me," he whispered. Emma stepped back. "It's okay. You don't have to." He looked up. His eyes were black, completely black. His smile stretched unnaturally wide. "You can stay with us now." The toys around her began to twitch, crawling toward her. Dolls dragging their cracked limbs, tin soldiers marching, stuffed animals with torn mouths. Emma screamed and tried to run, but the boy raised his hand. The basement door slammed shut. "Playtime forever," he whispered. Everything went silent. The next morning, the manager unlocked the front door and called out for Emma. The lights were still flickering. The shelves were a mess. He walked to the back room and found her phone on the floor. Screen cracked, the camera still recording. The footage showed Emma screaming, running down the aisle, and then nothing but darkness. But the last frame of the video was chilling. Emma's reflection in the glass door, smiling, surrounded by toys lined neatly beside her. And if you visit Playtown Toys today, you'll notice the new addition in the front display window, a life-size doll with glassy eyes and familiar blonde hair, smiling endlessly at every child who passes by. Sometimes, if you stand close enough, you can hear it whisper, "Do you want to play too?" The end.